Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. This morning we're not in Indiana. We're on the Big Creek Trail in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. On the east end of the park, on the North Carolina side. Hiking the Big Creek Trail up about 2 miles. And we're after images today of Midnight Hole and Mouse Creek Falls. Having been on this trail now for, I don't know, half a mile to a mile, one thing I'm finding is that it's a lot rockier than I remember. But still, all in all, it's a great hike. Actually, it's my favorite hike in the Smokies. So I'm going to hike up here, take a few images, see what turns out. Try to just enjoy the outdoors. So stay tuned. One of the things that amazes me about the Smokies in the fall, if you catch it just right, is just how much beautiful color there is here. We lived for a period of time up in New England and just loved New England in the fall, but the Smokies are really impressive when you catch it, at or near peak. Absolutely just real impressive. All right, so we've made it to Midnight Hole. All right, mile and a half in. Took a lot longer than I thought it would, but we got here. Let me show you here what's behind, or what I'm looking at. Now I've already taken a couple different images, all right, of the actual waterfall, which is kind of behind that rock that's shutting out. All right, so I was over in a different spot. I moved over here because I wanted to try to capture the moving leaves that you see, happening here. It looked like they're going in a circle. So how am I doing that? All right, so I'll show you the back of my camera. All right, so what we're doing is we're shooting at f11 ISO 100, and we got a 3.2 second, shutter speed. And if you look, you can see how everything's kind of moving in a circle. All right, so 2 second delay, 3.2 second shutter. All right, so now what do you get? All right, so that's what you get. Now I'm using a circular polarizer to help try to cut down some of the glare. All right, but that's a pretty common thing to use, when you're out, trying to shoot fall color or shoot moving water. Circular polarizer is absolutely a critical thing to have. Try to take another shot here. All right, so from here we're going to continue up the trail another half a mile to Mouse Creek Falls, and I'll check in with you when we get there. So I made it up to Mouse Creek Falls, and what I want to do is take a minute to let you understand how to find where it's at. All right, so as you're hiking up the trail, all right, once you get to about 2 miles, depending on where you start measuring your hike from, all right, to make sure you don't miss it, because it's not exactly marked or it's easy to find. One thing you want to look for as you come up the trail is a hitching post for horses, because this is also a horse trail. So if you look here off to my right, hopefully you can see that, as you come up the trail, all right, on your left hand side, when you see that, Mouse Creek Falls is right beyond it. And as you can see here, all right, you can see my wife standing up there, but what you can see is there's this little trail that leads you right up to where the waterfall is. So, not necessarily marked per se, so you got to be looking for it as you come up the trail. All right, and you can see here what we're looking at. Now we're going to figure out how to finagle a good area to take a picture here. Not quite sure we're going to do. It doesn't look easy to get down here in front of me, but it does look like I can get down a little bit better that way, so I'll probably go that direction. All right, see if we get down. I want to get down closer to the water. Try to keep the leaves out of the, you know, some of this vegetation and stuff that's in the foreground here out of the way. So hold on here as I try to find a place to set up for an image. All right, so we're set up here with the composition. Let me show you the back of my camera so you can see it. Trying to capture the stream flowing through as well as the falls coming down. Now I'm not showing you my settings here, and I'll talk about that in just a couple seconds, but here, 2-second delay. You can see kind of here what my settings are right now. All right, and that's what we're getting now. We're at 2 seconds. All right, on that particular, you know, shot. Now what I wanted to do when I came out here was I wanted to try something that I picked up. I can't remember if I saw it on YouTube or if I saw it on Instagram from him, but David Johnston, who's a photographer here in Tennessee, talked about how he likes to photograph water and how he likes to limit himself to a 1/2 second shutter speed. I play with it all over the place, all right? I'm not really consistent with it, but he says he shoots it like an f/16, and then if he has to adjust his ISO, all right, to get the image, that's what he does. He feels that gives him the best, you know, look from a motion of the water. It doesn't completely make it look like a blur, all right? You can see a little bit of the texture and movement in it. Not really sure that that'll apply here in this particular scene, but we're going to try that. All right, so give me a second here to adjust my settings. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you the back of my camera. We're going to figure this out together. All right, and of course, as always, you know, we go into sleep mode. So I'm going to pull it up here. Now, as you see, we're at 2 seconds. We're at f11. So now we're going to switch from f11 up to f16. All right, so now you see we underexpose. So we're going to bring it back up. All right, so now what that's done is driven our shutter speed to what? 4 seconds. But we want to go, all right, to basically a 1/2 second. So we're going to touch the ISO here, and we're going to pull the ISO up, let's say to, I don't know, let's put it here, and it's probably about 1500, 1500, 1350, all right? So now we're overexposed, so we're going to bring things down. So what does that do? That puts us at 4/10 of a second. So that's closer to what David's talking about. So let's try that image and see what we get. All right, now you won't be able to see this correctly because it'll be at an angle that's pretty hard to tell. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to stop and put the image in right here so you can see what this particular image, you know, it basically 4/10 of a second looks like. I'll also throw in the one that was at, you know, 2 or 3 seconds so you get a chance to see what it looks like. All right, so we've set up our composition, looking down more at the stream, not really at the waterfall. Trying the exact same thing. You can see here, all right, we've got 3/10 of a second, 1,000th ISO, f16, all right, and we're centered perfect exposure. So when you take that image, you can really see through here, all right, the texture of the water. So something like this, I think it makes a big difference, all right, in doing it. So I think, you know, what David suggests makes a lot of sense and something you should try to apply. What I find really interesting is on something that's kind of already like the waterfall here at Mouse Creek, where it's already kind of blurred itself out because of the motion, or its natural motion, doesn't really seem to help a lot. But certainly when you look down here at the creek and see it running through, or Big Creek as it's called, all right, you can certainly, it certainly makes a difference. You can pick up, like here, you look at it, you're going to see when you take the image how you really, it looks somewhat similar to that. So you can really see the movement of the water, but it's not blurred out so much. So you get a little bit of the texture. So that's probably a good piece of advice in this kind of a situation. So I'll try to put a link to the description, you know, in this, you know, particular video. I'll put a link down there to David's channel so you can go over and take a look at his stuff. He's a good photographer, talks about a lot of good stuff, and he really likes to help people. So if you're looking for somebody to follow, he's another good one, you know, to take a look at. All right, so I'm going to end this video here, but what I am going to tell you is we've been out taking pictures of a lot of different things. I'm going to throw maybe some extra video, extra pictures or images in from different areas of the park, you know, over the last couple days. that I've taken, here at the end of this video, so you get a chance to see what it looks like, to be here in the Smokies in the fall. But I want to thank you for coming along. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us with the algorithm, helps us grow the channel. All right. Most importantly, remember to get outside and enjoy life. All right. And then until we see you again, stay safe. Well, if you've never been to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park and never gone to Mingo Falls, this will be a little experience for you. It's a nice little journey. It's not a long hike, maybe a quarter of a mile, maybe a little more than that, but it's all up steps. Here, I'll show you. It's a few hundred. Nothing too difficult. Yeah, really, especially when you're carrying 30 pounds worth of camera equipment on your back. Anyway, we'll check in here when we get up the falls. All right, so once you get to the top, to Mingo Falls, which actually it's 168 steps. It just seems like it's 1,000 steps. All right, but once you get to the top, it's really not that far. Once you get up here, you're treated to this waterfall that's roughly 200 feet high, I think. But they say it's not the tallest, it's not in the park, it's just outside the park. But it's certainly the tallest waterfall in this area for now. I'll show you the back of my camera so you can see what we're looking at. And as usual, when I do that, then my camera goes to sleep. That's normal. I have that kind of luck. But as you can see, when you're looking at that, we're using the trees here, leading lines into the waterfall. You can see some of the colors up above, and we're running at about a 1 second shutter speed. So if this picture turns out, I'll throw it in right here.